Hello, everybody. I am D.Lisa, and I am a dream doula.
I am Cristina Spataro. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach. Thank you so much.
Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to talk about rushing because when we're recording this, it's right around the holidays, and
Mhm.
I am so happy and grateful that my children, who are grown, said to me a few years ago, "Mommy, I don't want anything for Christmas. I'm not getting you anything. Let's just not do it." And the first year I was like, "Oh, what about the stockings? Could you like get things in a stocking? I'll
Mhm.
get things in a stocking for you." And they're like, "No." Well, actually, they said yes, but they didn't do it. And now, many years after that, maybe 10, 7 or 8 or 9, 10 years after they said we're not doing gifts anymore,
Mhm.
I feel free. I feel free of any obligation to give anyone at all a gift. And
Mhm.
if I do rush around to get them a gift, I'm not rushing. And
Mm.
I don't feel this year the pressure, although I feel the rushing. I feel the energy of it like intruding in my
Mhm.
being. And we can talk about what happens when you rush. Oh my gosh, what do you think about that, Christina?
I think it depends how you're rushing and why you're rushing.
That's profound.
Yes. So here's the thing. There's rushing because I've got to get this stuff done. And there's rushing because there are things I don't want to think about. And we get
Oh,
caught up in busy stuff so that we don't have to think about
oh, I know people like that. In
it.
fact, I do it
Mhm.
myself sometimes.
Right.
So as if and a lot of people who I think a lot of people who work from home can really relate to this.
Mhm.
They're working, 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 and scroll. Oh, like I'm like, oh, the
Yes.
laundry's done.
Yeah.
Stop working, fold the laundry. Oh
Mhm.
no, the laundry's not done. Turn it back on. Then you've just stopped your mind from whatever mindful working you were doing. How about the
Yes.
dishes? Ooh, let me do the dishes. Let me take a walk around the
Mhm.
neighborhood. And then do I get my work done? Sometimes later
Mhm.
on. And then I feel like I'm rushing because I didn't do it during the day.
Mm.
But yes, I had a few years uh, in the recent years where I tripped and fell down a couple times, like on a
Oh.
sidewalk, on some
Mm.
stairs, on this and that. And one day I was showing a real estate client a house, and I was at the end of it. I'm thinking about all the things I was going to do later that day, and I
Mhm.
tripped and like tripped up the steps, and the side of my hip was all bruised up.
Oh.
And she's like, "Oh, honey, you should go home and rest that, put some ice on it." And I said, "Yeah, I was tripped the other day too." And she looked at me and said, "Were you rushing when you fell?"
Mm.
And I have to say, 100% of the time, all the times that I tripped and fell, I was rushing.
There you go.
I wasn't mindfully walking or doing anything.
Mhm.
I would say I probably wasn't even really in my body so much. I was like thinking about
Mhm.
the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and bam.
Mhm. So, we talk a lot here about mindfulness, being in the
Mm,
present moment and embracing your moment. This is what it's all about.
yeah.
We can get so caught up in, I have to get this done, I have to get that done. Okay, that moment actually hasn't happened yet. But
In
if
fact,
you
that
en
moment will never happen.
right, it will never happen, but if you embrace the moment you're in, mindfully walk, mindfully do, and as somebody who's had more than her fair share of trips, yes, when you're not paying attention, when your mind is distracted, when you're rushing where you're going. Because here's the thing, how much time are you really gaining by the rushing? Or to flip, how much are you actually losing by the rushing? How many
Oh, yeah.
moments are you not savoring? How many
Mm,
moments are you not appreciating when you're in them because in your mind you're rushing to the next thing?
right. Yeah, I saw that. I saw someone else post this online the other day, and they said, exactly what you said. And like maybe you get to the end of your life and you've never really lived in the moment. You were always
Mhm.
obsessing about the future,
Yes.
and the future wasn't where you were living. The now was where you were living.
Mhm.
And so for some people, that's only in brief moments, like a sudden beautiful sunset or a rainbow, double rainbow, stop and look at it, or you're walking outside at night and you can see the moon.
Right.
Those times it's easy when you're surrounded by the beauty of the world to
Mhm.
stop and be in that moment. And then we go back to whatever we're doing, whatever we're rushing toward, whatever. Blah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like, stop and enjoy the moment because that moment's gonna go and not come back again. Like,
yeah.
really savor it. I remembered this was pre-pandemic days. I had been working really hard and I hadn't taken a vacation day. And I wasn't really like planning to go anywhere special. I just decided to take a general mental health day because sometimes that's really important to just take a day. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to take this day and literally enjoy it. And it was a summer day. And I went to Bryant Park in Manhattan, which, if you haven't been, lovely, lovely park. It's just, it's next to this beautiful old library. The architecture is incredible. And so I went to Bryant Park, and they had at the time, they was sponsored by, I don't know if they still do it. I actually honestly haven't really checked it out since pre-pandemic days in terms of they're still, I think they do still do it, but they were doing like Broadway and Bryant Park where they do little snippets of Broadway shows in the park, like little musical snippets. And so I went, I listened, I went for a walk around the park. I went into this beautiful old library. I went and got myself a treat and just enjoyed it and savored it. I went to go, the Brighton Park had this little reading library. I just picked out a book and I just sat there and read. And then I saw people that was going. I struck up conversations. I was like just being in the moment for this whole day, not having any particular agenda, not saying I got to accomplish this, just a day of pure being in the moment.
That sounds beautiful. So it's a day retreat by yourself,
Yes.
designed by yourself,
Mhm.
and everything that appeared to you just was the next delightful thing because you just went to the park
Yes.
and then you saw the play and then you found
Yes.
the books and then you ate the
Yes.
treat and the whole day you were
Yes.
just, I'm taking time for myself.
Yes.
Oh, that is so great. That
Yeah.
is so great. I went to a wedding once where they were Buddhists,
Mhm.
and before the ceremony, they asked us
Mhm.
all to do a meditative walk in the garden.
Mm.
And so I found myself walking so slowly
Mm.
in this line of people walking so slowly. And it was really beautiful. But I did hear my mind racing like, why are they walking so slowly? Should I
Mhm.
walk slower? Should I stop?
Mhm.
Should I go the same speed? Am I doing this right?
Mhm.
To be mindfully where you are does not mean you don't still have the thoughts in your brain,
Of
but you
course.
can bring those thoughts back to where am I? You can bring those thoughts
Exactly.
back to what am I seeing? You can bring those thoughts back to what are my feet on?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's so important to do that because I'm not saying you don't have genuine worries or concerns. Trust me, we all do. I do, you do, we all do. But the more you can give yourself those moments of just being, that really helps your stress, it helps your outlook, it helps your mood. It definitely helps you stay on your feet and not trip so much.
Yeah. And the other day I found myself thinking, I gotta hurry. I better do this and this and that. I was like, whoa, slow down.
Mhm.
Because the two friends of mine I know that can stretch time,
Mhm.
they say they can stretch time, and I've been with them. I believe it. Sometimes time goes fast and sometimes it goes slow. Why?
Mhm.
well, just choose that it's going to go slow. So I decided the other day, just yesterday, I was driving somewhere. Last time I went there, I got there a few minutes late. And it
Mhm.
seemed like that time it took me 20 minutes. So I thought, okay, 20 minutes, time to go. Ooh, 18 minutes, time to go. Ooh, 15
Mhm.
minutes, time to
Mhm.
go. 12 minutes, time to go.
Mhm.
And then I said, slow down and stretch time. And I walked slower than I wanted to in and out of my house. And I went mindfully driving there, not rushing.
Mhm.
And I got there 3 minutes to spare. So did I
That's
stretch
great.
time? Maybe not. But suddenly, instead of like, I'm late for yoga.
Right. Which it makes no sense, really.
Yes, I'm rushing to yoga. In fact, one of the times, that's funny, one of the times I fell and tripped on the sidewalk, I was rushing to meditation,
Mhm.
which is like, that's just like, joke on you.
Mhm. You need that
Rush to
meditation now,
meditation.
don't you?
Oh, so yeah, sometimes when you feel yourself rushing,
Mhm.
you can just take a settling breath, or I teach people
Mhm.
this 3 breath meditation. It's just breathe
Mhm.
in deeply through your nose, blow it out slowly as if blowing through a straw.
Mhm.
Do that 3 times, and it takes 16 seconds or less to do that breathing
Mhm.
meditation. And then you've settled your autonomic nervous system and you can deal with
Mhm.
whatever you're dealing with. And maybe
Exactly.
walk slower in and out of your car,
Mhm.
walk more mindfully through whatever task you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, do you have another idea for people on how not to rush or how to stop themselves when they notice it?
So I like the combination of what you said, the idea that when you feel yourself rushing, I love the idea of do that quick 3 breath meditation
Mhm.
because what is making us anxious, it always goes back to our nervous system.
Right.
It always goes back to that. So again, the brain is designed to protect us. It can't tell the difference between our anxiety and a genuine threat. So we're anxious. That autonomic nervous system is doing that fight, fight, freeze, fight, fight, freeze. It's ready to pounce. So just by doing that, you're calming it down. You're kicking your parasympathetic into gear. And ask yourself this question: is where I'm rushing to really that urgent?
Wow. That's very deep and profound. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, dear listeners, if you're rushing, if you find yourself rushing around, try those 3 deep breaths. Try consciously slowing yourself down and asking this question: is what I'm rushing toward really that important? Because I would guess 90% of the time the answer is no, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Wow. Blessings to everyone who listens to this and shares it and follows the YouTube channel. I appreciate you all.
Appreciate you too. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Until next time.